Before going any further, if you enjoy deep dives into practical European history, make sure you subscribe to Warpaths of Europe and like the video. Now let's get straight to a method that preserved more food and prevented more waste than most modern homes achieve today. The old-world technique of perpetual cooking. How perpetual cooking created a continuous waste-free food cycle. For centuries across Europe, households, especially rural ones, kept a single pot going for days or even weeks. Instead of resetting meals every day, they maintained a simmering stew, broth or porridge base that never fully left the fire. New ingredients were added as soon as previous portions were eaten. Nothing edible was thrown out. Bones, rinds, wilted vegetables and tougher cuts that would be discarded in modern kitchens were all converted into a richer, more nutrient-dense meal with each passing day. This evolving pot preserved food through heat, eliminated spoilage, and allowed even the smallest scraps to contribute to a complete dish. How the technique worked inside the daily routine of old households. Perpetual cooking relied on consistent heat from the hearth, which was already maintained for warmth, drying and light. Households simply positioned the pot on the cooler edge of the fire, where it stayed at a steady, low simmer. Morning additions were usually grain or legumes for thickness. Midday brought vegetables, herbs, or yesterday's leftovers. Evenings added small amounts of meat, animal fat or dairy, if available. This method kept food hot, safe, and ready at all times, turning the kitchen into a continuous preservation system without needing separate storage tools. So, let's talk about how this method expanded nutrition and really stretched those limited supplies. Because the pot was always active, families could pull more value out of every single ingredient. Over time, bones would release collagen and minerals, thanks to the long exposure to heat. Even tough roots would soften, turning into usable calories instead of being wasted. Herbs, well, they'd infuse the broth with volatile compounds that would otherwise just fade away. Just a small amount of meat could flavour an entire day's worth of meals. In communities where resources fluctuated with the seasons, the simmering pot became a true nutritional anchor. It also reduced the need to hunt or harvest every day, giving families more stability and, honestly, more time to work the fields, tend animals, or travel. Now, you might be wondering how this strategy can be used today with all our modern tools. Perpetual cooking actually translates quite easily into modern kitchens, using things like slow cookers, Dutch ovens, and, well, even low-heat stovetops. A slow cooker set to its lowest setting can safely maintain a broth or stew for days, as long as you're adding fresh ingredients regularly and removing portions evenly. A Dutch oven on a low flame does the same job, though for shorter cycles. Survivalists, for example, can recreate the method by placing a covered pot near, but not directly on, the fire, keeping a low, continuous heat. This allows for efficient use of food after long trips, foraging or hunting. Adding leftover rice, wilted vegetables or bones from a previous meal builds a nutrient-dense base that would otherwise be wasted. Campers and reenactors often use this technique to stretch limited supplies over several days, which really reduces the need to cook from scratch every single night. So, here's the thing. This knowledge strengthens both our historical understanding and our survival practices. Using a perpetual pot method shows us just how European households manage scarcity with real precision and discipline. It also demonstrates how continuous, low-heat cooking can stabilize food access in modern survival scenarios. Anyone interested in building long-term preparedness can benefit from adopting a version of this approach, helping to eliminate waste and maximize the value of every ingredient. If you found this useful, do subscribe to Warpaths of Europe, like the video, and share it with others who appreciate serious historical insight.